What is going on, folks? This is Nick Karaskevich, host of The Tread. We are on episode 7, and I still have not been kicked off of YouTube or Facebook, so I appreciate it, folks. This week, going into round 2 of our Scaled Up Vendor specialties, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Gary Orner of Orner Exotics. Say hello, sir.
How you guys doing today? Oh man, it's
Look
such a good day. Texas is on already.
Texas is already on, man. Ever since last week now, man, he's on right away. I gotta love that. Look at this. Dab's already on. He's already getting ready, gonna be taking notes, taking pointers, because he's on next week. Him, Brittany, and the whole crew.
Oh, it's gonna be a fun time. I'm gonna tease him real quick. He used to be scared to death to get on.
No.
He didn't like it. I love him.
We're gonna have to bring that up next week then.
Oh yeah. Now he's like doing news interviews and stuff. Oh,
I know. I was actually trying to find funny clips when I was doing the reels and stuff for you with the ridiculous Stone Cold. I was trying to see if there was anything funny from the one time that you got interviewed. I think it was at Fond du Lac. And I was like going in there. I'm like, there's got to be something funny that Gary said that I can like dubstep or T-paint it or something, but I couldn't find anything on there to bust you with. But
I was gonna say I was interviewed also. Was it Green Bay? I forget, somewhere else. Another one I was interviewed on. I forget, but I think they edited out like half the stuff.
Yeah. No, I know I was on one of the ones, I think for like Rothschild, and then I noticed that it was like, I don't know, like that everyone was commenting on like, you really should have put your business logo inside your display cases, because they literally cropped it off perfect. So it's like you see like my chest down. So you see like part of a tarantula or a snake, my crotch, and then like my display cases. So that's absolutely lovely.
I could show you just a second. I started doing that.
Yeah. See,
this one's cut off center, but I started doing it.
No, right. Like that's my thing. Like my next round, and I actually took this one. I stole this one. I saw somebody that laminates their paper, so that way when like geckos or snakes poop on it, you can just wipe it off and reuse it. And I thought that was genius.
I would have never thought of that.
I would have never thought of that either. I actually, yeah. I mean, I was walking around NARBC, and I can't remember whose booth it is, so I apologize if that person's on here. And they're like, "That's my idea." Well, I saw it and I thought it was genius. So, I need to start doing that because I'm tired of throwing out snake poop on paper.
I wouldn't have to cut these ever again.
I know. Adam says hello.
Adam, what's up? He just got back from some expos too.
We got to start kicking into gear, people. We got to remember, because at that 45 in the show here again, we're going to be handing out another set of VIP passes, and I promised I'd up the ante. So remember, if we get 25 people on here, and how many likes did I say? Did I say 25 likes or 20 likes?
Let's get 100 likes.
Yeah, I mean, like if we get a crap ton of likes, I was also going to go to Gary's wonderful Reptipost Printify pop-up site, and I was going to spend some money for that wonderful winner to get some awesome Reptipost swag as well as these tickets. So we would totally be, you'd be getting more there. I mean, that's like $100 value there.
That's insane.
And you're helping Gary build Reptipost. So, I mean, there's so many things we need to obviously get into here, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
I want to get into Gary and Reptipost and stuff, but I mean, we got a level set for the people. If you don't know Gary and his Gecker love and his Gecker breeding, now if we're referencing Gecker is a joke with Gary, Gecker breeder. But I mean, you've been, I would say, actively across the reptile community, from everything from the hot side with venomous stuff to geckos to snakes to you name it, for I think maybe for as long as I've been in diapers, until now, potentially.
I was doing reptile expos in 94, end of 94, 95.
Holy cow. I was 2 years old at that point.
I was a young punk kid. I was 16 years old, but I met a guy. Some people might know him, Joel Rogelin. I'm not even sure if he's in the animal trade anymore, but I was blessed enough that I was in the Columbus reptile area and got to meet Mark and Kim Bell, Don Hamper, and Robbie Hamper. I always say
Yeah.
Robbie and Don. Who else? The Potter, Ashley.
Yeah.
Ashley used to set up books. People were like, "Oh, Ashley used to just set up books and sell at the Columbus show."
And this is Columbus, Ohio, Columbus, Indiana, Ohio.
So there's a big argument. Who was first? Was it Tinley or not Tinley Park, but Wheaton or Columbus?
Okay.
There's a big argument who started, but one of those two shows started the monthly expos.
I got you.
One of those two.
Yeah. So there you go. But yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple of photos. I mean, like the way back in the day photos where it's like old school expos. Like you can tell because like the camera picture, I'm pretty sure with you still has like the date in the corner and everything. But I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I think when we've talked too, I mean, like you were one of the first or were the first with Boomslangs in the country as well.
I produced Boomslangs. As far as I know, I'm the first in America to do Boomslangs. I was stupid. There's no AV back then. They bit you died. Ray Gushaw imported them for me. They were imported, and I got them, and I was like, "Hey, I like these Boomslangs," and I produced them along with mangroves that year. I did mangroves.
Mangrove snakes or
mangrove snakes. It's common now. Mangrove snakes are common now, but back then no one even knew how to keep them alive from being imported.
No, I mean, I know we've talked about them too, obviously. I mean, for me, those are, I mean, like you said, they're common now, but for me, I mean, those are still like a gem just because you still need to get stupid licensing and everything like that in Illinois for them.
Illinois, you just got to come up to Wisconsin and you don't
have to I'm already trying. I noticed that Twin Lakes Business Park has a unit available, and I'm like, that's 20 minutes away from me.
Just hop, skip, and a jump.
Hop, skip, and a jump, unless Gary buys me a facility up in Green Bay or Appleton.
I've actually talked to the wife about buying a new facility kind of today. It was just kind of, I'm like, maybe we should get a bigger place.
Is it the old Shopco?
That would be amazing.
Dylan's like, no.
Like, yeah, I'm just gonna get this Shopco and I'm just gonna turn it into a zoo.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other piece too. I mean, how is the zoo? I know you've been growing the zoo, building the zoo.
Insurance stopping us from being door swingers, so we can't, have an open door. But I mean, we just got to retick. I'm just kind of adding to it. So I'm just going to start taking educational animals to the Reptile Expo since Scaled Up. I'm blessed. Scaled Up, is such an amazing place. And if I need extra room, Dylan's really cool about it. And so I'm just going to start taking some educational animals. Since he's sitting here, and I didn't text him yet, there's a certain snake that he knows about that I have right now that is a jerk. Just to let you know.
It's not the one that was on the Channel 6 Fox News or whatever it was.
No, there's a snake that he has that I'm holding for him that she's a jerk. I mean, she's a jerk. Because I was like, okay, I went in there today and I took her out and she was fine at that time. I took her out and she was fine. And then because she pooped.
Yeah,
but I mean, I was like, cool. Okay, so I took it out.
What kind of snake is this? Just so everyone knows what we're talking about.
A Doomerl.
Okay. Oh, wow. There we go.
And so I put it down in the center of my big room, and I went back to get it, and she just decided she was mean.
Yeah.
Just decided that's what she is. She's mean, and I'm like, oh, great, this is awesome. I was like, thanks.
I feel like I've met like one or two Doomerls boas in my lifetime, and both of them have been extremely temperamental. I know one of them did not like beards or guys with beards. I'm not even joking. So I like Doomerls. I mean, but oofda. Man, I remember when those, I don't know, like, I'm sure you probably remember even before then, but like I remember as a kid, like early 2000s, like 2000, 2001, 2002, used to be able to go into like, whether it's like Potter, Chicago Reptile Shop or a reptile shop, used to be able to get a Doomerl's boa for like nothing. They used to be like dirt cheap. They used to be like $80. I remember when they were like $80. Like you would go in and you could buy the Doomerls for like what nowadays is like what, like a, I don't know, like a Mojave ball python or yellow belly ball. They were just like, and you buy them left and right, and then people would be like, "Oh, I didn't realize I got that big."
It's crazy. Dumeral boas are one of them. The other one, king snakes. Jeez, king snakes. And I didn't do that. She just didn't like me. She's back in the cage. I mean, I picked her up and she started biting at my face. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And she's a big girl.
Right.
I'm like, all right, get back in the cage. Then what else did I do? And then I was playing with my Death Stalker today.
Your Death Stalker again.
Yeah. I've had her for 2.5 years and she's still fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna have babies, but no, she never had babies. But she's a sweetheart. She doesn't sting anything. She just eats stuff.
Yeah. That's okay. We'll get you something a little bit more feisty. We're waiting. As soon as I can get those Titus from a buddy, we'll send you the Obscurus.
Yeah, I like stuff that can like bite me and sting me.
It's
yeah, amazing.
Bite you, sting you, take out a full-grown dubia roach in around 2 seconds.
Exactly. My sand spider, I think I could hold it if I think I could.
I hope John Apple's not watching this one.
Yeah, I know. Well, he knows. He yells at me all the time. He hands me stuff. He goes, "Don't hold this one." I'm like,
Gary, for everyone that doesn't know, Gary's like Dr. Doolittle. While he can't hear the animals, he is an animal whisperer. Animals just generally flock to him. When you see him walk down the street, ducks naturally follow him.
Line. Yeah, I mean, my boomslangs didn't bite me. To give you, we talked about boomslangs real quick. In Africa, a buddy of mine, Martin Smith, broke the Guinness Book of World Records for living with venomous snakes for the longest amount of time. I forget the time; it was like 118 days at the time. And he had boomslangs in there.
Yeah.
And he mentioned me on one of the lives. He goes, "The only person that's stupid enough like me is my American friend Gary." And I had my boomslangs. So it was kind of funny.
Yeah, because I remember you telling me, I mean, you used to go live with them, you said, on camera, just for the heck of it.
Yeah, I would open it up and I would let them cruise because they're not hidey. They don't hide. They have to know what's going on. And they're not as bitey as people think they are. They just aren't. But if they bite you, you're going to die.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously, so doing reptiles, obviously, you're known for geckos, specifically leopard geckos, geckers. We can't not bring that up, obviously, on the show. I mean, obviously, you've used, I think you still do, obviously, all the different morphs and stuff. But now I know you're one of the few people that I know, at least, and I'm not well versed in the gecko realm, so I apologize, folks, if I'm forgetting about a million other people. But like that. You still focus on like the very like all the different like locality things. Like you can tell me all the time. You're like, oh well, this is exactly this, and it reminds me of people in like BOA world, like the BCC people, where they can tell you, oh, this is from this, and this is exactly this, and it's really impressive because you don't see as many people, I think, that always follow some of that line breeding.
Well, yeah, I mean, subspecies, we can't import leopard geckos anymore. We can't do it. So you get these people that are getting these subspecies and they're breeding them to every morph, and eventually we're going to lose them. I mean, geckos still only lived 20 years, 25 years.
Right.
So I have groups of fasciolatus. I've got my macularis. I might be one of the very few, if not the only one now, that breeds pure macularis. This macularis geckos. And then since I do that, I have people that give me projects to actually break down to single gene morphs. Like I'm working on the Cypher marble eye separation. I'm working on ghost separation, Albie Snow now, just to keep these lines alive because I can take it to pure macularis and I can separate it all.
Yeah. Out. So you're basically reverse engineering gecko morphs.
Yep.
Holy cow.
The reason is in ball pythons, a perfect example is everyone's trying to mash everything together. Well, let's say someone wants to start from scratch. How do they do it?
Right.
I'll be the guy that they can. It might not be the most popular thing in the world, but I give away more geckos than I sell sometimes.
Yeah. I think part of it though too is, like highlight, obviously I think it's pretty clear. And if anyone can't tell to this point, like Gary, like lives, sleeps, breeds reptiles.
100%.
And I think that's just that's another key thing. I think I had at least 3 or 4 people today that were hitting me up potentially for things that I had available on my morph market. And it goes back to the same concept. And it's like, they always ask, well, what should I do? What do I want to breed? And you have to breed what you like. You got to do what you like. You got to love it. You got to be passionate about it. And, I think I told you that, before the show, I think, one of my messages or something when I was trying to get you on is like, part of the reason was like, man, when I started doing shows, even I feel like I was super like tense. I feel like to a degree, I probably still am, I'm like, especially in the morning, I get in that like realm and stuff, but like, the best part, if you have not done a show with Gary, is like the ultimate, like, I don't know what it is. It's like a caffeine jolt or what it is. He's just like the life of the party. He makes you just relax and realize that, I hate to say it, but there's more to life. Like it's okay, to have a bad show, I think. And I think so many people get hooked on that. And I think it's funny, like I said, when I met you, you just joke about it. Like, yeah, like today was the worst show I've had in like the past 5 years. I did X amount of geckos, and you're just joking about it. And there's so many other people that just they get upset and stuff. And I think, like I said, that's contagious. Like I said, at least for me, that's something I'm still trying to get better about. But I think that's something that more people, if you haven't been around Gary, man, you need to take that as food for thought as far as thinking about how you want to vend, how you want to do your collection. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do, reptile wise, breeding wise, but I don't think I've ever seen Gary not have fun at a show. I don't think I've never seen Gary not have fun around reptiles.
I've been doing it for so long. I mean, I've been at shows where we made 5 figures. I've never done 6 figures at a show. I wish. But I've done, Columbus, Ohio. I've done Tinley Parks. I've done Daytonas. And then I've done shows where I don't sell nothing. I mean,
yeah.
But the thing is you got to think of it as a marketing, your name got out there. How did you go about? And, Xander keeps waving. Hi. That's my grandson. That's my wife.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if that was like a person, but because then I saw the parrot and I thought maybe it was the parrot. And I was like, that would be pretty cool.
Max, that was okay. Max is a story. Max was our Moluccan cockatoo, and he had to go because of us having custody of our grandkids and how it works in the state of Wisconsin. He is a dangerous animal. So we had to move him. And that's why I actually got the facility.
Yeah.
I moved all the animals. Yeah, but Xander's up there waving. Hi, Xander. See. Uh-oh. But yeah, reptile shows are amazing. I mean, it's just kids coming up and holding stuff, asking questions. You don't know if you're going to make it to the next day, so you got to have fun with everything you do.
No, right. And I think like that's one thing too. Like I always want to shoot. Like I think that's one thing. I mean, hats off again. I mean, with our Scaled Up series here, Dylan, Brittany, and the whole crew. I mean, the Scaled Up shows, like I always kind of mention, it's like it's the first like 30 minutes before the show starts, and it's like that last, I want to say 30 minutes, but realistically, my wife is going to be like 2 hours after the show. Like there's so many like just fun things and stuff that you just, I don't know. I feel like you go to NARBC, and I love NARBC, but it's like, man, like at the end of the week, everyone's just trying to get out, and like no one wants to like party or have a good time. Like at the end of the Scaled Up show, like the amount of vendors that sit and talk and just funny stories and all of that, like it's very much a community feel. And I think that's especially for folks, I mean, if you're starting out, if you're looking to become a vendor, I mean, that's one thing. I mean, I wish that my first year I would have tried Scaled Up shows and not gone in my second or third year to then start doing them, because I really think that community basis is huge.
Yeah, I was going to say Scaled Up is, I mean, what he's done for the community in Wisconsin is insane.
Yeah.
100% insane. And we've had some late nights, haven't we, Dylan?
like closing the place down at Fond du Lac at like midnight, clinking beers, and you're still there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we just kind of sit and chill. Because I'm so busy. So, I sit and talk, and we just, that's like my time, and I can't walk away from reptiles. I can't. I bounce ideas off him. Dylan's known about Reptiles for a long time. And I bounce ideas off him on that. And then I come home, and then we're chatting in a chat. That's what we do all day, every day. We just got stuff that goes on in a chat. And if it wasn't for Dylan and Scaled Up, I don't know where Wisconsin Reptiles would be right now. Sewer's amazing, but
right. It's one location. It's one location, and it's focused around, while yes, Milwaukee area is what, the largest city in Wisconsin. Someone can correct me, I'm not really sure, but you have, the other 3/4 of the state still.
And lacrosse
Yeah.
is involved now.
That one I think is going to be a heck of a lot of fun. I'm really excited about that location. And folks, again, those VIP tickets are also for the lacrosse location. I'm only seeing one like here, guys. We got to get the likes up here. If you actually yeah, I mean, if you like Gary, like this. I mean, you can hate me. I don't really care if you hate me. Just like this, because this is for Gary.
Now it's over. They're gonna hate me. Everyone in the chat probably hates me.
We got to get those.
Dave in there too. I see Dave's another scaled up guy.
I know he's actually going to be on. He accepted my invite. We haven't announced the dates yet, but he just accepted the invites and a date and stuff like that. He's going to be on here too for our second set of 3 scaled up people. So that's going to be fun. And then eventually we're going to have a lot of people on, and we're going to try to do a vendor roundtable before lacrosse. And that's going to be fun because we're going to have like 6 people on the screen all at one time. I'm just going to be moderating, and we're going to have gecko people, ball python people, you name it, giving their input on the
I would love to talk. I would love talking against some ball python people on market. I'd be like, how's that going up against 44,000 other ball pythons? I'm so bad.
Right now, not so good.
Yeah, the market's weird, but I mean, at the last expo, we got Green Bay coming up, but at Sewer, I did pretty well. I did pretty decent. But I do breed roaches too. So, and red runners like flew off the table.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should buy some red runners off me.
I like red runners, but red runners get inside my drywall.
That's okay. Who cares?
It matters to the next person who gets the house.
That's okay.
If you bred lobster roaches,
them crawl up walls. Red runners don't. Jeez. No, I mean, in my facility, I dropped like 2,000 red runners, maybe.
Yeah.
Another vendor. Vending's fun. I mean,
I know.
When I started vending shows back in Columbus Day, it was like, Gary, I love talking all the time. That's what I love to do. It's the best thing ever. But Columbus was like, you got your table. There was no tablecloth. See the growth of what we do now.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally was an 8-foot table. You put your animals in 10-gallon tanks. That's what you did. I mean, I think it was Mark and Kim Bell had their little display way, but it was like acrylic that was flat on a table. And then Brian, I think Brian's the first one that brought them started bringing them displays. I don't know if Brian Hahn made them for him. I forget. I'm going to have to ask him. Now I'm going to ask him tonight. Well, not tonight. It's going to be late when I get off here for him. But, yeah.
No, right. I mean, and that's the thing. Like I said, some of those like real old ones of you, like there's one picture on there. I should have put that in like the promo video. It's like you, and then there's like 2 tanks, and I don't know if one has like a carpet python or something.
Oh, it's 3. One was a yellow anaconda, a carpet python, or a coastal carpet, and a jungle carpet.
There we go.
That was at I want to say Grand Rapids, Michigan, but not the one that goes on now. It was an old Grand Rapids, Michigan one. Because back then, I mean, I was doing a show every Saturday, every Sunday.
Right.
I mean, there was enough that people say Wisconsin can't handle. Oh, shoot, guys. I mean, where I was in Toledo, Ohio. We had one in Detroit, one in Grand Rapids, one in Kalamazoo, one in Indianapolis, 2 in Chicago area, Hamburg, Cincinnati, Columbus, Cleveland.
Hamburg, where's like
Pennsylvania?
Okay, the only thing when I heard Hamburg, I'm like, you went to Germany for geckos?
No, Hamburg. Well, back then I was only snakes. I never touched geckos. Ever.
I got you.
Oh, I was not a gecko person. And Hamburg, since I was a venomous person, I got put on the venomous side, and I would sell out. Whatever I took, I sold. You haven't seen him talk computers and video games. I do that too. I do computers and video games too.
When are we coming out with the Gecker video game?
I should.
Gecker Files.
Yeah. Do you remember the ball python game? Did you remember that?
No. Wait, like the little like pet thing where you feed it and keep it alive?
Like someone had a website that was a ball python breeding game, and you could start out with furry, and
yeah,
you started combining stuff, and then you would end up getting like something with 18 genes in it. But there was no pictures; it was just text.
That
was kind of fun.
Maybe Dylan will let you use Scaled Up. You can call it the Scaled Up video game instead of Level Up. Scaled Up.
Oh,
get some free marketing there. Scaled Up, and it can be maneuvering your way as a vendor up through the reptile industry.
Tell me that when you start, and you can buy some animals, you become a flipper verse, and you
you have flipper verse. You've got Corvette world with thin margin when you own a big house and a Corvette.
And then the ending will be you'll go against Dylan and his Lambo.
No, I thought you were going to say the ending was you hide crocodilians, but then you show you off your American alligator.
Oh, dude. Shots fired.
People who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. I won't say anymore.
Yeah, but we just know what's up. Oh, I got pushed back about having the reticulated python. They were like, "Are you selling retics now?" I'm like, "No, I just got a retic. I'm good." I'm also looking for a Burmese python. Albino male Burmese python at that. Got a reason.
And I mean, you've been in obviously so long now too. Obviously, you've seen that development. I think from the selling side, even. I mean, there was pre-fauna classifieds, then there was fauna classifieds for a while.
Rich took over the classifieds, king snake and fauna. I mean, there was a little bit of war there for a while. Jeff and Rich didn't like each other, for a while. I don't know if they do now. But I mean, kingsnake.com had the forums, but Rich got I forget what board he uses, what program he uses, but he brought that forum on. And Bob Clark had a forum. People don't remember. Bob Clark had a forum, and then Ball Pythons .net maybe was the other big one. Yeah. And then I started the reptileroom.org, which started, influencing Rich, should I say, because I had the war room, and Rich created hell. I don't care what Rich says. Hell is because of the war room. But now, I mean, Fauna Classifieds has gone downhill, and I understand what he's doing. Man, to have that user base. Base. Fauna Classifieds is ad pop-up central, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should obviously, throw it in there. You've got your newest venture. I think that you've been someone. I'm just trying to poke people to make sure they get on because they don't want to miss out on these tickets here.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, lots of people comment. I see what it is.
Yeah, it comments across all my different pages at once. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, now obviously you've gone on to what? I mean, I would call it I don't want to call it your newest venture, but maybe it's your newest venture at this point. I mean, it is your background. We need to discuss the elephant in the room.
So I started this 2 years ago, and I call it a backbone, but I bought a program that was a social media site, and I brought back the reptileroom.org. The reptileroom.org back in the day, I had 490,000 subscribers, or like not subscribers, but members on the reptileroom.org. And so I brought that back. Well, I was hosting it with the people I bought the program off of. And all of a sudden, this one day, it was gone. I'm like, where'd it go? So I contacted them. They're like, oh, yeah, we just shut down the servers, and we're not going to do it anymore. So I was like, oh, great. So then I bought another program, and I started building it and customizing it. And then they would, I just started doing it, and then I launched it a year ago. And the reason I know that it was a year ago, because I kind of gave up on it. I launched it. Yeah. And no one was really taking it. I talked to a few friends, and they're like, oh, social media, good luck. That's what they told me. Good luck. Yeah. And so I just left it there. Like, literally, I just left it.
Yeah. And that was, I remember, I think a little bit. That was back with the pictures. Like, it was like something with the grow, and there was the little plant sprouting. I remember, like, a little bit and poking around. I was late to the party on that. I'll blame myself on that one there.
Yeah, and then Texas Kid and some other people decided that they were going to have a contest and use ReptiPost as the platform.
Yeah.
And it kind of took off. And I was like, okay, now I need to go in. Well, with me being the only person that was on the site, I didn't know all the bugs. Yeah. All the bugs started popping up then. And then now I think officially I got all the bugs out.
Right.
And I just kind of launched it, and I started getting memories because it has memories. And from a
Yeah.
year ago when I started posting, and I mean, you could do everything from like post a classified ad or create a group, create a business page, and you're not going to get deleted. And it's not owned by PETA.
Yep.
The Facebook's owned by PETA. No,
18%, folks, to be exactly 18%, and that's not counting the percent. I don't know what all of Facebook backend servers are, but that's not counting the percent of Facebook that may or may not be on AWS. Realize, folks, that Amazon and AWS, there's also stakes in PETA. So platforms that potentially use that for hosting are also technically have partial, helping of an organization that obviously stops the hobby that we all love.
And that's, I mean, I understand why we have to use Facebook, but hopefully ReptiPost at one time soon enough will not need to rely on Facebook anymore. I mean, every single time you post on Facebook, you spend ad revenue on your supporting PETA. I mean, I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to advertise on Facebook here soon. So,
I mean, I got to ask with the pop-up store. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but I mean, Texas Kid here is like one of your biggest fans. Are you going to get him a Stetson ReptiPost cowboy hat?
I think I do need to get a cowboy hat.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get a cowboy hat. We got to get some Ariat boots, and I mean, a belt buckle, like one of those championship belt buckles.
I'm telling you, Texas Kid has been amazing. 100% from the get-go. And ReptiPost, I mean, he was there, and a few others when all the bugs were happening, and they just stayed. And every day, Texas Kid's on there for me. And I always say that if every single member just went there once a day and made one post a day, liked one post and commented on one post, it would grow faster.
Yeah,
100% it would grow faster.
I mean, were these bugs dubious or red runners?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They're red runners.
I mean, they're lobster roaches. They're climbing on the walls.
Like, they were just little things like a cookie banner saying we took cookies would be underneath the login, so they couldn't hit yes. And I mean, just little things with one man going in and coding it all and buying code and putting it together. I mean, there's no one looking over it. So,
hey, Will, haven't seen you in a few weeks. I know you joined on when we did our season premiere. Thanks for coming back. Appreciate it.
I like the name, Podcast Garbage.
I know he's got a really sweet name and a really sweet show. People got to go check him out if you haven't already. But Will was on here helping to support and promote back when we kicked this off with Troy from Best Dressed Balls. So appreciate him coming on back. But yeah, I mean, I think what's been unique, obviously about yourself is that there are a lot of breeders and vendors, however you want to say it. I think that they stay in their lane and almost they feel like they're confined to that box, almost. Yeah. And it's like, I don't want to say that's a prison for some folks, but like, I think what you've shown, and I think more people need to realize is like, there's other things you can do, around reptiles and stuff, find what your passion is, whether that's, breeding, whether that's, breeding and collecting, a combination of breeding, collecting, and now creating things like ways for social platforms, social interaction, new marketplaces. I think that's what people need to realize. I mean, there's so much more that we can do outside of just, obviously, I hate to say what I think everyone thinks of, which is I bought a gecko, I bought a ball python, I bought a retic, I bought a berm, I take care of it. Now I'm bored. Now I want to breed. Okay, now I'm going to breed. Now what? I guess I need a business. Oh wait, I already had a business. I already had a logo. Now I'm going to go sell those, and I'm going to tell people about me. I think what you've done a good job about is it's at no point, and I'm not trying to self-sell Gary here, but this is just truly how I feel. And, I think lessons that in a sense I've learned, growing this hobby from him is that, it's never been about Gary. I would say, when it comes to the shows, and everything, it's always been about, the people, about the community. Even now with this newest venture with ReptiPost, I mean, he's always trying to give something back to us. And I mean, I just, from my side, I mean, obviously, hats off from that perspective. I think if everyone takes that same approach, no matter how small, it makes our community grow and that much stronger, especially obviously, kind of given, I would say, some of the, I don't want to just say recent events with the stuff with Florida Wildlife, but obviously even, going back 2 years, 3 years, 4 years between shipping issues and all other sorts of legislation that comes down the pipe. there's a lot more than just sending a check to US Arc or something like that you can do. Little things like this, building community, help strengthen to make that kind of a fortified wall.
Outreach. I was just talking to Brian about that, Brian Barczyk, about that, the outreach. We were talking about BHB, and I said something along the lines like, I know you love BHB, but he said that his favorite thing is the Reptarium.
Yeah.
And just hearing kids, hearing kids say something about the Reptarium.
Yeah.
I mean, I you could see I follow like the educational center and Orner Exotics and the roaches and the websites and my fauna radio. I just have to be around it. I have to be around it. And I was asked the other day, how much money do you make doing all this? I'm like, I'll let you know when I do.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when it happens.
What is it? What's the saying? It's someone correct me. What is it? Spend $1 million on reptiles to make 1,000 or something like that, or spend $1 million to make $1 million.
If you want to make $1 million, start with $2 million.
Yeah, there we go. I knew it was something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it is profitable. You can make it profitable. The problem is once you get addicted to reptiles, you're always doing something more. Yeah. Investing in caging, investing in more animals, or building.
Right.
So facilities. Oh, geez, don't know.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. I mean, I'm already at the point. I mean, I built my new facility. What is it? 3 years ago. That's in my basement, and I mean, I'm still at the point now where I'm already, like I was just joking with you. I think it was before the show, right at the beginning of the show. Like I was real tempted. I'm like, I saw a business park. It was like 1,800 square foot loft office above. And I was like, yeah, I could do that. And then I got more room for anacondas. So
I was looking for an anaconda at the last show, and Key Reptiles didn't have his anacondas. He didn't produce any this year.
Yeah, no, he hasn't had any because when Reddick's collection got split off, I know the anacondas, part of them went to Fisher Reptiles, that's down in Florida or Georgia. I can't remember where Fisher Reptiles is. Someone can comment if they know. Part of them went there. Key's got some of them because he's got some of those patternless. And I think, I know parts are still with now. I forget who the hockey player is. What's the goalie's name? Gosh.
Oh,
I can't remember. But I know he played for the Blackhawks for like a season or two, I think, at some point too. He's an Islanders goaltender at one point as well, I think. But that ended up buying it. Obviously, they still have like the things like the albino anacondas, but I think there was one other person that it got split off to, as well. But yeah, I mean, that's another one. I mean, just like you mentioned, leopard geckos can't get imported anymore or anything. Anacondas, everything here is captive. Everything.
It has to be, yeah. That's what I was talking to a friend of mine, Paul, and he said that we need to be more responsible for the stuff that we can produce in captivity. We don't need to import anymore.
Right.
But the stuff that we can't, he understands why to import them. And someone said that you'll create job loss, shutting down this importation. And he goes, well, what happens when the animals are gone? He had a point. It affects the ecosystem. So, I mean, as an animal lover, I understand the whole not being wild caught. There's no need to wild catch leopard geckos anymore. But if we're not responsible with breeding them, we're going to lose them.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think that's kind of the same thing. I mean, reptiles have got clamped down, I would say, a little bit more. There we go.
Rob's here.
Rob's here. Rob? Look at that, Rob.
Rob, I got a retic.
Yeah.
I know he's a boas guy, and ball pythons. Who doesn't do ball pythons?
That's actually a good point. Who
doesn't do ball? I mean, leopard gecko people usually don't, but I mean, I had someone come up to me at Sewerfest. He goes, "I'm going to start a reptile business." And I'm like, "What are you going to breed?" He goes, "Ball pythons." And I want to say, "Oh, jeez."
Yeah. Will's got it. That's who it was. It was
Leitner. Okay.
Leitner. Yeah, there we go. I knew it was something like that. I remember at one point he was on the Blackhawks for like a season or two. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Robin Leitner. I knew it. I couldn't remember. But where's David when you need him? No.
Yeah, I only got one retic, one male retic.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point, though. Like you said, who doesn't do ball pythons? But we were talking about this before the show. So I'm curious here, folks, how many people actually answer this one right? I mean, What do people think is the most popular pet reptile in the world? Let's see if people guess this one right.
And I didn't even have to tell them.
Don't Google it, folks. Come on
don't
now.
Google it.
I'm seeing this delay here, and I'm really thinking everyone's Googling it.
What I think is funny is most people don't even know it.
It's not bearded dragon unless it's. I mean, so from what I was reading, Google it, people, and see if maybe I was wrong. But what I was reading here today was that the most popular.
Uh-oh. Did we lose him? Did we lose? Technical difficulties. Uh-oh, I don't know if you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Did we lose him? Did you guys lose me?
Are we back?
Yeah,
I'm back. Okay, so technical difficulties. That's what happens when things go live. Yeah.
We're live.
Yeah.
His internet issues?
Yeah, yeah, my 1 gig pipe wasn't big enough, apparently.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, leopard geckos though are the number one. People don't know the big three.
Yeah.
The big three produce well over 300,000 leopard geckos a year. Well over 300,000. I know Reptiles by Mac. I was talking to my buddy. He was there, and they pulled 2,700 eggs in one day.
Holy cow.
And he said it was a light day. I was like, and people look at me producing what I produce, and they're like, oh, you're crazy. I'm like, I'm just like in shock. I don't even know how to take care of all that.
Yeah. No, right.
It hurt me the whole time. I was gonna say, so we're good.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I always find that really interesting. Like I said, when you look at that, you know, obviously you see so many ball pythons at shows, and people go, "Oh, it's a show of ball pythons." And I'm curious, just some insights on this. Obviously, with as many leopard geckos that are technically moved every year, you know, in the world, which is technically more people, you know, want leopard geckos than ball pythons, from what I was reading. Technically, how come we don't see more? I mean, maybe I'm just missing them at the shows. I mean,
Well, I mean, they're there. I mean, we got wholesale clients ourselves, but the way I think the reason you see more ball pythons is because people they see the people that get rich. So the top leopard gecko breeders in the world don't make millions of dollars. I mean,
Right.
the top three probably do under 300,000, but other than that, we don't make $1 million. But the top 10 leopard ball python breeders are making 7 figures.
Right.
But now where it gets different is the leopard geckos in the middle, they're all there. We don't have a lot of bottom feeders. There's a lot of bottom feeder ball python people.
Yeah.
And I can keep a leopard gecko for a year and feed it, sell it for $50 to make a profit. I challenge a ball python person to do that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I think, you know, I've been seeing similar to what Will just put here. I mean, a lot of people I know that are geckos, whether that be leechies, leopards, cresties. I've been seeing a lot of folks where they're like, I just saw some this week. They're like, yeah, shipping out, I think it was like 6 or something like that today. And I was like, man, I haven't had a day where I'm shipping 6 out in the same day in a long time. I think, you know, that's dating back to next year. I think the most I've shipped out this year is like maybe 2, but I've also barely done any shipping this year so far. So,
yeah, I mean, so ball python, you guys got more money into your guys' animals, your guys' adults. I don't. So an adult leopard gecko eats 20 mealworms. Let's say 20 mealworms a week. I have a half a penny. Let's just say it's half a penny into each, you know, mealworm. You guys have dollars into each meal.
Right.
So if I have a wholesale client that's giving me $35 a gecko at 15 grams, I'm making good money. And I'm not trying to be cocky, but it's easier to breed a leopard gecko than it is a ball python. I mean, you guys get 7 eggs. I mean, we could put a female in a 28 quart. I don't think you guys breed ball pythons in 28 quarts, right? It's CB70s, right?
CB70s, and then what's the new 55 series? I use the 55 series, and I will be honest. I mean, I have some girls that are 1,800 grams that if I move them to a 55 or a 70, they won't breed. They won't produce follicles. Yeah. They want to stay in the 40. So they stay in the 40, which is what I keep most of my adult males in. and that's what they breed. I had 2 or 3 girls last year drop clutches in those that, I mean, they're 1,800 grams, but they preferred small. But
that's the other topic that you get the people that are keeping the animals that don't know about breeding, and they get on us about doing that. Put it in a smaller cage because you know that animal, and then they'll jump on you. They're like, oh no, you can't do that. I mean, I have leopard geckos that breed at 40 grams.
Yeah,
because that's the leopard gecko. And now I got leopard geckos that are 80, 90 grams. And I get people to look at me and go, do you know what you're doing? I'm like, no, not even a little. I have no clue.
No, right. Yeah, I think that's the other thing too. I mean, how many days of an incubation leopard geckos? I mean, obviously ball pythons, we always said the estimate is 60, obviously depending on people's incubation time. I mean, you could be getting pips
35 days. My males 35 days, females 50 to 60 days. I just hatched a female today that incubated at 52. That was kind of early. But my males, so what I do is I start out and the first clutch from every female is male.
Okay.
The next 3 clutches are female. Then I start it over again, and it goes to male, then females. Yeah. And then unless it's a special project, like I'm not incubating a lot of stuff for Cypher as male this year. Mm-hmm. I'm blessed enough I got a Cypher male now. So everything's female because I'm trying to separate the genes, and I'll be able to prove out with what I have, what's marble-eye, what's not, and I got to separate them genes.
Oof,
got easy.
Yeah.
9 months. Really? No, we don't do chameleons in 9 months now.
Oof.
Dude.
I tried chameleons like once. We had a chameleon that dropped eggs that we had here. That was my wife's veiled chameleon, and we failed at that one. But I don't even know if the eggs are fertile or not. She came gravid and she just dropped them. So
yeah, bearded dragons throw some clutches. They'll breed a lot.
Yeah.
But the space they need, I mean, you can. I told Dylan this, and he's like, "Well, when he was first starting out, like 100 females, you get 1,000 babies,
right?
For every 100 females, people are like, oh, how are you producing thousands upon thousands? I'm like, it's 100 females. I mean, who cares? And they don't take up room.
Yeah. Yeah, and like Todd's saying, he wished he could choose sex with ball pythons. I wish too. And for folks that, if there is anyone here that's not familiar with this, obviously Gary just explain, give the quick rundown so people understand as far as the sex process with the temperatures. And
stuff. So anything over 88 to 90. I don't like the 90. I go 88, 89. You're going to get mostly males, about 96%. And then around 80 to 82, you're going to get about 96% female. It just takes longer to cook them. I call them cook. I say cook them. Now there are people that will, if they want females, they'll incubate them for 3 to 4 weeks. Around 3 weeks at the 82 degrees, and then put them in the 89 degree incubator. And I'm like, you're saving 8 days, 10 days.
Yeah.
At that point, it doesn't matter anymore. I mean, there's days I go in there, I'm like, gosh dang it, we hatch geckos. I'm serious. I'm like, I got to set them all up. I mean, we're really blessed with leopard geckos. We get choose sex.
Yeah.
It's really cool. You can't do that with cresteds.
No.
So leopard geckos, we can do that.
What about like things like cave geckos and stuff? Is there anything with that as well where you can choose sex, or nope? It's just a leopard gecko thing.
Yeah. And cave geckos, you don't want to incubate over 80 degrees either, because they're kept at a cooler temperature. You can actually cook them, and they'll be gone. Cave geckos are another one that takes forever. I hate eggs that take forever to hatch. I hate it. I'm like, come on, just hatch. Balls too. Gavin has been experimenting with keeping ball pythons at higher temps. Gets 80% female every clutch for over a year. Woo!
That's very interesting. Like I'd be really curious to kind of keep seeing that, because I think obviously that'd be huge. Obviously from the ball python side, if people figured that out, like
raisins,
yeah. I mean, I'll be the first to admit. I mean, I incubate my ball pythons at 88 degrees. I mean, that's what I have, my stuff consistently at. I seem to, over the past, few years here now, I've been running right around 2/3 females, so 66%, which I always just thought I've just been getting frankly lucky, because it's like 66%, like that sounds nice, but not amazing. But 80% female, I mean, that would be really interesting if we could find out if there's a specific temp to play around with that. So,
yeah, Van Herps was talking to me, and he said, was it clowns? He needed a male. He kept getting females. He goes, "Oh yeah, my bad luck." I was like, "Really?"
No, and that's why I find funny, because like I know, like I was joking with Todd and stuff like that. I mean, this past year, and like people go like going into like 2024, like how many of your males like were your holdbacks? And I'm like, I've produced 2 holdback males, like that are now going to be going into production for 2024. You know, besides anything that maybe comes out early this season that might go into production for next year. But otherwise, I mean, I had to redo my entire breeder male set by buying it all, because it was like, well, at that point, it was like, well, I already have this, and this. And I'm like, I'm not going to like hold on if I've got 8 females that I held back that all got the genes. Like, I just need to add new genes on the other side.
See, your guys' return rate too is bad. See, I only purchase males unless it's from really trusted sources. Like I got a handful of people I'll take females from, but you guys, I could buy a pair of leopard geckos for $500 a piece, $1,000, get 10 eggs, and I sell them. Let's say I could sell them eggs for $500. I'm turning 1,000 into 5,000 like instantly.
Yeah.
And that's insane. You guys, I mean, you guys got some 6-figure ball pythons out there, man. I mean, that's insanity.
Yeah. So I'm really curious on that. Like Will was saying, it sounds like he's going to be, you know, adding some more talks around this here up in the early in the East.
91 and 92.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in that. Something I would be real interested in that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'd be really, like I said, just interesting, you know, obviously, because then the more people, if we were able to add to that data set across multiple breeders who basically did the same controls and the same variables, I'd be real curious on that one. I think that would be that'd be pretty cool. I mean,
don't do that with leopard geckos. You'll get hot females they won't produce.
Yeah.
Yeah, leopard geckos, once you go over that 90-degree mark and you go 91, 92, 93, they'll hatch really, really quick, and they'll be female and they won't breed. And they're mean. They're like psychotic. They're psychotic. So yeah, ball pythons though, that'd be cool. Can you imagine doing 90, 91, 92 and you get 80% female?
Yeah. And it sounds like Billy's now tracking it. I'm guessing that's probably with Husbandry Pro. So I'll drop that name there. So that's another really cool software, folks. If you haven't started playing with, Billy has a lot of videos on Husbandry Pro. So I'm not going to steal his thunder there. He can tell you all about it.
I like it.
But it's getting that time. I think it's time to start giving away some tickets. I mean, I want people to get bored. Yeah, I mean, it's ticket time. So last week, you know, we gave away our first 2 tickets. I'm going to give away 2 more tickets, and while we're just short of 20 people, and we didn't get our like 20 to 25 likes we were hoping for, I will still throw in 1 item from the Reptiles Printify pop-up for Gary. So that money, I will purchase it myself. I will have it either sent to you, or I will have it so that it's at the show that you can pick up from Gary or myself or Dylan at one of the Scaled Up shows. You let me know how you want to do it, but I will purchase something from the Reptiles Printify pop-up store, which I will drop right here. So I will go ahead and purchase 1 item for that lucky winner as well to go along with these 2 tickets. So as you can see here, look, I'm putting
stuff. Look at this.
putting the link in there. And as you can see, there's a lot of really cool Reptiles gear there. You want swag, you want shirts, you want speakers, you want mink blankets, you name it. So I'm going to throw in 1 item in there with these tickets. And I mean, you know, to kick it off, just like last week, if you're not familiar with Scaled Up shows, here's our little giveaway promo. Alrighty, folks. Hopefully everyone is completely hyped, and it looks like Adam wants a banana hammock with Reptipost on it. So for folks that were watching, remember, I always tell people you want to watch from the beginning, because I might ask a question you might not have been on, and you might not then be able to answer to win the tickets. Gary started working with reptiles and doing shows in what year? I was in diapers back then. Let's remind people. So give you a little bit of hint. First person that can give me the year will win these wonderful 2 VIP tickets, and I will purchase one item of your choosing on the Reptiles Printify pop-up store.
Whoa.
Was it 94 or was it 95, Gary?
It was late 94.
Late 94. Mr. Nick Kennedy himself has won 2 VIP passes that are good for any of our locations. That is Fond du Lac, Green Bay, Rothschild, and the newest location of La Crosse, Wisconsin. For any of our scaled up 2 VIP passes. Nick, go ahead and look at that link if you haven't already from the Reptiles Printify pop-up store. I will buy you one item from that store of your choosing, as well as give you these wonderful 2 tickets that you can enjoy and go to any of the shows. Nick, I know you live like, I think 5-10 minutes away from me, so you can either pick them up here, pick them up at Will Call. I can still mail them to you. I don't mind putting the stamp, but I'm afraid the post office might lose them. But congratulations to Mr. Nick Kennedy. He is also Mr. going to make the Tread janitor shirts for us. So,
ooh, I'm excited about them shirts.
I know. So, folks, if you haven't heard already, if you watch back a couple episodes when we had Kevin from KDF on, so we talked about, basically we're all reptile janitors. As Kevin said, he goes, I go to work, I clean rat shit, I go back, and then for fun, I clean snake shit. So next thing you know, we decided to have these reptile janitor shirts, and, we got to get them made. I know, Nick, that's on me. I got to get back to you. I got to send you the proof so that we can get the initial one printed out. And then from there, obviously, anyone that's on here, that's either going to be an upcoming guest or has been a guest on the show, like I've said before, get with me so we can start figuring out sizing and stuff. And as soon as we get the initial one of mine printed out and it all looks good, then we can go and keep, building them out. So, Nick, thanks for reminding me. I got to circle back with you. But, congratulations on those 2 tickets. I mean, folks, also as well, as we're kind of reaching the top of the hour here and winding down, I want to make sure if there's any I have so many stories I feel like I could tell you about Gary, between like Gary and drones at expos and stuff and other fun things. But if anyone has a great Gary story or a great question that you want to ask Mr. Orner here before the poor guy has to go to bed.
The drone. I forgot about the drone.
Feel free to throw that in the chat here.
The drone.
I've been thinking snake shit in ASF.
Oh man. Loving the show. Sell out. You got to sell out.
Yeah, exactly. So that's Gary's saying. The first time I met Gary, that was either at a sewer fest when I was helping with River's Edge reptiles, I think. Back then, I think it was. And then obviously when I was doing the Jansville shows in Wisconsin, those there, every single show, Gary has a thing, which I think you took that from Brian or something, or Brian used to bust your balls about that one.
Yeah.
But you got to sell out. So that's Gary's saying, folks. So you got to.
It came from like 97 when I sold out of the jungle carpets. That's why I say it now. 100% went back in 97. I had jungle carpet pythons. I had 17 of them, and I sold out at a Columbus show. And everyone would tell me I had to sell out, and I would tell them they had to sell out.
Yeah, exactly. Nick Kennedy's got it right. We need more likes on this live. He's probably bummed because he's only getting one item. If we would have gotten 25 likes, Nick Kennedy might have gotten 2 or 3 items. So, yeah, blame it on the likes. Look at this. What is that? It's like a Lilo and Stitch leopard gecko.
Yeah, DNA reptilia, right? Yeah, DNA reptilia. I call them reptiles sometimes. It made that for me. Abby.
Look at that.
And it's actual my logo, so my gecko has the red shirt. Yeah.
We're gonna have to talk about that when we got DNA Reptilia on there. I want to know how these things are made. I'm not artistic at all, folks. So let's be 100% clear here. I'm not artistic. My wife can attest to that one. Stick figures is the top of my artwork chain. So
ditto.
But folks, if you don't have any other, specific stories, questions, obviously about Scaled Up for Gary, funny Gary stories. I'll make sure that everyone obviously gets to bed on time here. But I mean, from my side, I mean, I appreciate everyone again, continuing to tune into the thread, continuing to share it. I mean, this is a brand new platform. We're still, totally fine tuning. But like I said, 100% unscripted. I don't really know where things are ever going to go, but I just know that they're going to be fun. I appreciate everyone who tunes in. Appreciate everyone who's been supporting all the vendors here for Scaled Up, as well as our NARBC vendors that have been on before then. And then, we got a double dose here coming up, folks. So this weekend, we are going to be testing out. I'm not sure how it's going to go because we have not done one like this, but this Saturday, I'm going to be at the KRE Reptile Show in Lexington, Kentucky. And I'm going to go live at some point during that show with Sean and Rachel from SRS. My wife will also be joining us live, so you guys will be able to see my wonderful wife that gets to bust my balls all the time about putting a shock collar on me at reptile shows. And, we're going to be live, at the expo, talking about reptiles, talking about vending, the business, everything, having a good time. And, that'll kind of be our test bed for, how things go from a live perspective and, at a reptile show. And hopefully, potentially, we'll be doing more like that going forward. But then after that Saturday, right back to our Wednesdays consistently. And we got the people who started Scaled Up. We got Dylan and Brittany, the crew, coming on, talk about Scaled Up, talk about dabs. So, there might be some more geckos and stuff, but there's for sure. Yeah, exactly. And I need to ask them actually how they came up with dab. I wasn't sure if it's literally Dylan and Brittany and that's how it became dab, or if it's like an inside joke or something. But I mean, we're going to be giving away VIP tickets. I am also thinking about some other things to up the ante a little bit more on top of those VIP tickets that I'm not releasing yet, but I will announce soon. So definitely stay tuned, especially to those Scaled Up discussion boards. If you want to find out around the VIP tickets, what else is going to be released, and, definitely spread the word, keep tuning in. And, like I said, right after that, then we'll be back in doing a couple more Scaled Up vendors as well. So it's going to be a good year, folks. I mean, this is only episode 7. Goal is to have 15 episode seasons, take a little break between here and there between the season, and then, obviously kick back off onto season 2 and stuff. So a lot more content to come. We are still trying to find shark professionals for Shark Week in July. So if anyone knows a good shark breeder that wants to come on and talk about breeding sharks, let me know. That is one thing we have a query out. I have messaged 2 different institutions that breed sharks captively. I have not heard back. But if you know someone, if you know a friend, let me know, because we would love to have them on for Shark Week here in July. But otherwise, folks, I appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you so much again for supporting the show, supporting Gary, supporting Scaled Up, and all the other wonderful vendors here across the country and across the globe. I'm Nick Karskevich with The Tread. This has been a wonderful time. Thank you, Gary, again for coming on, enjoying, talking shit with me and not getting tired of me. But more to come. Guys, if you haven't, go join Reptipost, go see what it's all about, go mess around with it, have fun with it, post stuff up. Don't worry, Gary's not going to ban you. He's not going to kick you off. He's not going to censor you for posting up reptiles. It's a reptile safe space. So have some fun with it. Give Gary feedback as he continues to keep building that site. He's trying to do this for you guys, give you guys a social media safe platform for reptiles. But otherwise, I'll see you all this weekend, and I'll see you again next week, Wednesday. Thanks for watching, folks. Sweet.